So a while back, I was contacted by Luke at LSS Mods. Now, LSS Mods is a USA-based manufacturing company. I mean, small business. It might just be Luke. I don't know a lot about it. I think he's based in Wisconsin, and he makes modifications and parts to modify, I think it's primarily Masterbuilt smokers. There may be others, but that's at least what I'm familiar with. And he asked if he could send me something to try. I get a lot of offers like this, people wanting to send you things, but this is a small business, USA-based, and I really like to give some exposure to someone who seems like they're doing quality work. I looked at his stuff and it does look quality, and I had heard people talk about his mods for the Masterbuilt smokers, so I took him up on the offer, and he sent me, I guess, what's called the Pitmaster Package. It's a grouping of several different mods. And I believe these things are all stainless steel. I'm not 100% certain if all of them are, but I'm pretty sure they all are. First off is the manifold cover. I think this is supposed to help prevent flare-ups, but one of the other nice features of it is it holds 4 drip pan brackets, and these kind of elevate some shallow drip pans that you can buy above this manifold cover and catch drippings from the cooking grate. If you have a Masterbuilt smoker, you know that it can generate a lot of drippings that go down into a catch basin below, and sometimes there can be a little bit of drippage outside of that basin. So having drip pans right under the cooking grate sounds like a great idea, and I'm really excited to try that out. And I think you can put drip pans under there that I think it says up to 2 inches deep. I'm not 100% sure on that. Mine are pretty shallow, like an inch, but we'll see. Another mod that he provided was a water pan. Now, this is a water pan that slides next to the existing manifold that you slide over. And with this water pan, you get a big syringe so that you can refill it after your cooking grates are on, let's say in the middle of a cook. A really interesting one is an ash bucket grate. It's a metal grate that goes in the ash bucket and holds wood chunks up off the bottom. Now, I heard a lot when I got this smoker that people said, oh, put some wood chunks in the bottom, not in the charcoal. And so I put them in the ash bucket down there and they work great. It does generate smoke, but this is interesting because it will hold those wood chunks up off the bottom and allow airflow around them. So I'm excited to see how that works. Then there is a full-size cooking grate that covers the entire cooking surface there. You don't have 2 separate grates in there. That I can see an advantage to. The 2 grates work fine. I've had no problem with them, but an individual one-piece grate I can see good uses for, so I'm excited to try that too. But the one modification, which I guess is really a tool that he provided as part of this package, was something that excited me right away. It's this. It's a little thing to help lift the existing grates out. This little tool, a lot of times you have to kind of stick your finger under there and lift it up and then carry it. This, you can pick the whole thing up with this and move it without having to touch the grate. And on the other side, bottle opener. So let's go ahead and start getting these mods in. One thing I do want to say is these are custom-made parts, so the metal can have sort of a sharp edge on it. So just gloves. All right, let's get our racks off of here. I mean, look at that. Look at that. I don't have to touch the grate. I know it's like silly, simple things like this, but I love that. And I think all of these things you can purchase separately. You don't have to buy a package, but the package seems like a good deal. Now, to install the water reservoir, we need to slide the manifold cover over this way. This is the water reservoir. I don't know how much it holds, but it seems like a decent amount, and if you can refill it easily during the cook, that's a plus. So it goes right over here. It fits pretty snug there, just be aware of that. Next up, our manifold cover goes on. Then our drip pan brackets. Make sure they're inside the lip here. And the spacing on these is just to support 2 foil pans. They're basically broiler pans is what I think the term is. At least that's the ones that I got. Then these just sit on top. So you could put, a pretty large pan here. And again, the grate is going to rest up here. So it does seem like you could fit a 2-inch pan there, but let's put the grate on and see. Now this is the Gravity Series 600. In the instructions, Luke mentioned that I think it's the 800 or the 560, maybe both, or the 1150. Might have some manufacturing differences between those units. So fitting the grate might take a little bit of work, but you can read up on that, but on here it seems to fit well. So down here in the ash bucket, I hope you can see, there is that grate that just raises the pieces of wood up. Now I'm gonna get some water in the reservoir and we're gonna fire this up, cook some chicken. The Masterbuilt Gravity Series 600 is up to temp. My target today is 275 degrees, and the wood that I have in the ash bucket on that grate is some hickory. Now, there is some instructions on what to do when your grill is at temp after you get your protein on, so we'll do that. Let's get our chicken on. This is just a chicken I cut in half and seasoned it up with a rub. Get a temp probe in my chicken. My target temp to pull this today is 160 degrees in the thickest part of the breast. And let's go ahead and get this closed so they get smoking. And then we're gonna do that other little thing with the ash bucket so we can get some embers down on that wood. So it says to briefly open the bottom door here and then shake that grate which holds the charcoal to dislodge some embers. Now, obviously you wanna be careful here, it's hot. I'm actually gonna use some tongs. Just like that, and close it up. I'll bring you back here when we hit 160 degrees. So we're not at 160 internal yet, we're right around 104 internal. Just wanna take a look, see how things are going in there. And I kinda wanna take a look at the water and see how much is boiled off or how much is there. Chicken's looking good. Might be hard to see, but there's probably about half of the reservoir still full, and I think it was about 2/3 full when we started. One other thing I am noticing is I'm able to smell more of the smoke. The hickory scent is really easy to pick up for me. So if I'm smelling more of it just out here, I'm assuming there's going to be more in the cook chambers. So that's one thing I can say right now. It does seem to be generating more smoke smell just in the air around the cooker, which leads me to believe it's going to be inside too. Well, let's get this closed and let it finish to 160. See back here in a little bit? Well, we are not outside, we are inside. I had to kind of move everything inside. We had a thunderstorm move in. And while it's okay to grill outside when it's raining and really windy, when you got cameras, it doesn't really work that well. But we got to our 160 internal. And a couple things I want to point out that I wanted to show at the end there, and I just had to grab my phone and use the camera and that to show you. One, right after we checked at 100 degrees internal, I added another piece of wood off camera because it said you could do that. And when I did, both of the chunks were completely burned away. There was just a little bit of ash left on that grate that we installed. So I added another piece of wood. And at the end, when I took the chicken off, I opened that up so you could see, and I took a little video there. You can see most of that chunk that I added, the third piece, was just completely burning. So it's nice that that was burning down, getting nice smoke off of it. I think I mentioned that I was really smelling good smoke out there, which I don't remember from previous cooks. You smell some, but I think that grate really does help allow good combustion and good burning of that wood. The other thing is the water trough there was completely empty at the end, I believe. I took a little video to show you. And at about that 100-degree mark, I think we were down to maybe a third of the thing full, maybe a half. So it was working well. It had water almost throughout the entire cook. And again, you can add water to it. And so here is one of our chicken halves. Let's cut in and have a taste. Oh, well, we got some juice. Oh, well, I would say that's juicy. Wow, that is nice. Skin is not rubbery, and it is still nice and hot. It's been resting for about 15 minutes, but a lot of heat in there. Let's have a taste. Super juicy, and there's definitely that hickory smoked flavor there. So at least for this cook, I can say that that rack in there, I believe, aided in getting the smoke flavor to the food. It definitely aided in getting a lot of more smoke flavor and smoke scent into the air. Oh, let's cut into some thigh meat here because I just love that dark meat there. We'll take it without the skin. Same thing. I'm getting that smoke flavor. Nice and juicy. When it is dark meat, it's going to be that way anyway. All in all, just generally, this was a successful cook. And now let me just sort of run through the things that are part of that Pitmaster package that I think work well. I like the grate that raises the wood chunks. To me, that does work. It is nice also that full-size one-piece grate. If you want to move something across, there's no catches or anything. It just slides smoothly. So I do like that. I don't think it's 100% necessary. The grates that come with the Masterbuilt are fine, but if you want something that's just one piece and smooth across, this one works well. The water reservoir, water trough, whatever you want to call it, it works. It holds water. It's easy to refill. And if you want to bring water into the cook chamber without having to add, say, a pan on top, maybe in the corner like a small pan, this doesn't take up any room from your cook surface. So it does work, and with that little injector thing that they give you, it's easy to pour water back in there. And the drip pans actually really work well. I mean, putting those foil pans on the risers that come off of that manifold cover, they caught, I believe, just about all the drips that come off of this, and they're easy to get rid of if you want to. You can just take them out, throw them away, or reuse them if they're not too dirty. But for the chicken, they worked really well. And again, being silly here, my favorite is that little tool that lifts up the existing grates so you don't have to touch them. It's just a simple little thing that works, and I love things like that. I'm sure someone else has one too, and other people sell them, but for something that comes from a small business person that's a part of a package there, I really like it, and it works well. Now, this video isn't sponsored by LSS Mods. He sent me those things free of charge to try. I'll put a link in the video description. You can go ahead and check it out. I definitely think I'll be using that grate that raises the wood chunks up on every cook. That's a no-brainer. It's going to work well. The one-piece grate, most of the time I might use that, but I can see reasons that I would want to have the existing grates, that two-part grate, in there. Water trough works. It's going to stay in there. I don't see any problems with that. The drip pan risers on that manifold, they seem to work great too. So all in all, this is a pretty nice package, and I got to say that the products look like they were built quality. Once again though, use gloves. I mean, not rubber gloves like these, but actual gloves that'll protect you from those edges, because some of the edges are a little sharp, and that's to be expected in custom-made metalworking. But none of it matters if your food doesn't come out good, and this turned out great.